Hello everyone, Daniel here from the Next Tissue Podcast. On today's video, I'll be doing a review for Interview with a Vampire, Episode 6, Like Angels Put in Hell by God. Wow, this episode was phenomenal. Like, this show just keeps getting better and better, and as the story kind of builds and weaves on, I really love it. I think the MVP of this episode is Sam Reed. So let me give you a quick synopsis, then we'll get into all that. Louis and Claudia continue to try to include Lestat as as a member of the family, but after Lestat interferes too many times, their endurance is pushed to the limit. After the events of last episode, last one was definitely very graphic, very violent, big confrontation between, in this relationship that Louis and Lestat have. And this one continues that, right, because now we have to deal with the fallout of all that. So first of all, this episode definitely deals with a lot of that. How does this relationship, after after the trauma, after the domestic abuse that happened, how do they move on from that? So I think the show very smartly has presented this situation, whereas of course these are fictional characters from, and these are fantastical beings, but their problems are very real. And I think the actors really deliver such a great performance that it really brings you into that world, puts you in their point of view. I just really enjoyed exploring this episode, to try to understand how anybody could recover from something like that. um, Once again, Jacob Anderson as Louis is great. We have Eric Bogosian as Daniel Malloy, the interviewer, who actually I like the evolution of his role as this interviewer. We'll talk about that more in a second. As I mentioned, Sam Reed as Lestat, the Lion Court, MVP of this episode. Like, he has such range to portray this character, where in one moment can be charming, and then at the flip of a switch can be just like really like selfish, self-absorbed, and just like almost like a petulant child. Really interesting stuff. And of course, Bailey Bass as Claudia. What a great character, that although she doesn't physically age, mentally she is growing up as an adult, which has got to be real. Like, the show's done a lot of work to really make that clear. It's really interesting stuff. I This episode was probably the one that I had. It just that I feel like everything has been really paying off that we've set up throughout the previous 5 episodes. And seeing that as this is the penultimate episode, we have one more before the season finale. I just can't wait to see what's going to happen next. So let's get into it a little bit deeper. Uh, Louis is recovering from all this stuff, so and I think Jacob Anderson does a fantastic job as portraying Louis as a character who he is his relationship with Lestat is, it's more than just their physical or the emotional stuff. They have a bond as vampires, as creator to the other. Like, they have a specific bond that is touched upon in this episode. And I think Jacob Anderson just really portrays that very well. Eric Bogosian, his character keeps evolving, and I really like that. He's a very cynical reporter, very different from the person that Louis met all those years ago back in San Francisco, which kind of comes back in this episode a little bit. So I'm interested to see where that's going to go. Of course, as I mentioned, Sam Reed, just he delivers one of the most intense, and almost like this almost felt like out of a horror movie, like, completely removed from the show. uh and he's just so charming and charismatic at one point, and then in the like I said, at the flip of a switch, you just see how messed up this character is. And lastly, I'll repeat it again, Claudia's character, Bailey Bass, is just doing a really great job at showing us that this character is more cunning than some people may give her credit for. She's learned from her mistakes, and she definitely cares a lot for Louis. They have a very interesting bond as well. So it's just a really interesting the shift, the power balance in the relationships keeps switching back and forth. So we don't know what's going to happen in the season finale, but I'm very much looking forward to it. The preview looked amazing. I think it's going to be just full of like really cool set pieces and great. One of the things that I notice all the time is just their outfits are always so cool. Like for a show that's in this time period, they just keep showing us like the culture at a time and the fashion and everything, because of course there's some people that actually have money at this time. They would be in the cutting edge of that, and then also like the people of the city, they've started to notice like there's something off about them. So that introduces another layer of problems. So we'll see how all that kind of comes to a collusion in the seventh episode. So I'm very much looking forward to the finale. I've loved reviewing the show. I actually held myself from watching the last episode before shooting this because I didn't want to go into this review with a tainted view. But if you're watching this, episode 7 is now available on AMC Plus, so you can watch the finale a week ahead. I'll probably be checking out sometime throughout the week. I really want to hold off and just process this sixth episode before I move forward. But let me know what you think of the show. Let me know what you think of the season so far. And of course, thanks for watching, everyone. Remember to share, like, subscribe, hit the bell so you know when we go live. That is most Saturdays, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. Stay tuned because we have more comic reviews, trailer reactions, TV recaps, all that fun stuff here in the channel. Thanks for watching, everyone. Bye bye.